healthcare mania across the country. A closer look at the proposed healthcare bill heading to the Senate.
A section of Highway 71 has a ton of drivers confused about getting to the airport. We go through it live to sort through what's going on.
Greater than 99.7% effective.
And against all odds, this cute little girl was born. The story that stemmed from a viral photo.
After years of promising to repeal the Affordable Care Act, the GOP took a major step toward that goal today with a bill that will revamp health insurance for most Americans.
President Donald Trump held a news conference after the vote, stating he was confident the bill will pass in the Senate, but others aren't so sure. The Night Beat's Brandon Jones joins us now to explain. Brandon?
Well, Quita and Mike, you know, this bill has changed multiple times since Republicans actually introduced it in March. We have seen protest debates over this issue, so tonight we wanted to know what could happen next. House Republicans narrowly passed a bill to overhaul the nation's healthcare system, but it faces an uncertain fate in the Senate, which is closely divided right now. Here's how it stands.
Some of the changes in the bill are short-sighted, and I worry about the impact.
Causey Huff with UT's Public Health Policy and Practice Department answered some of our questions Monday. First up, what will happen with people with pre-existing conditions? They're not barred from getting insurance coverage under the ACA. However, their coverage options could seriously be affected by this bill. States would be permitted to apply for waivers to exempt insurance companies from a community rating provision, which is simply a way of setting premiums.
You are likely to pay a lot more, and that's one of the major concerns, and that includes also just people who access health care services fairly often, like women who are pregnant or families with children.
Next up, Medicaid. What's going to happen there? The new bill calls for major changes to the way Medicaid is funded. First, the federal support of expanded Medicaid coverage to those earning no more than 133% of the federal poverty level would be rolled back. People who receive Medicaid will be required to work unless they are disabled, pregnant, or elderly.
The House didn't wait for the Congressional Budget Office to cost out the bill, so there's lots of questions about cost. Also, since this bill rolls back Medicaid expansion for states that expanded Medicaid, those senators are going to have a lot of questions.
So we did ask Huff to weigh in on if the Senate would pass this new health care bill, and she simply said she doesn't think so. Mike?
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, after that final vote in the House today, Democrats chanted as their Republican colleagues left the floor. So with lawmakers making the call on what kind of insurance millions of us can have, it begs the question, what does their insurance plan look like? Like anybody else using Obamacare, members of Congress have to get their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act exchanges. This year, lawmakers had 57 plans to choose from. The federal government pays for just over 70% of the premium cost. But here's a perk the rest of us don't get. Congress has access to free or low-cost health care by a physician at the Capitol and also through treatment at military hospitals.
Austin police need your help finding the man they say is behind several burglaries at the Domain. Take a look at this surveillance footage. Police are investigating a string of higher-end apartment communities in the Domain area. APD believes the man recently targeted apartments in the Lamar Union Complex on South Lamar. If you know anything about this, you're asked to call police.
A call to action today at the state capitol in response to the death of 15-year-old Jordan Edwards. The freshman honor student and football player was shot and killed by a police officer in Balk Springs, a town east of Dallas. He was in a car driving away from a party when former officer Roy Oliver used a rifle to shoot into the car. Now lawmakers want less talk and more action when it comes to officer-involved shootings to protect other young African Americans from the same fate.
But this House and this legislature and our entire state leadership needs to do so much more. It's not simply enough to send our thoughts and prayers. We need action.
At the Dallas County District Attorney's Office, phones are ringing off the hook with people who want to see murder charges in this case. The DA calls it a top priority.
The NTSB breaking down the numbers in a deadly bus crash last month in Uvalde, Texas. Video from witnesses ends just before the head-on collision, but shows the pickup's driver, Jack Young, crossing the solid white line 37 times, driving into the grass at least 5 times, and crossing the double yellow center line 19 times. 13 people were killed in that crash. Only one person in that church bus survived. For the second year in a row, UT will honor a recently murdered student at the annual UT Remember ceremony. Harrison Brown was killed in the stabbing on campus Monday afternoon. UT confirms to KVUE he will be part of the previously planned memorial tomorrow afternoon. The event pays tribute to any current students and current or retired faculty who died in the past year. Last year's ceremony came about a month after the murder of freshman Haruka Weiser, the first murder on UT's campus in 50 years.
A section of Highway 71 near Austin Bergstrom International Airport is raising questions from our viewers. So we're getting you some answers tonight. The Night Beat's Tina Shively took to the roads to break it all down for us. She's in the Storm Chaser in East Austin. Hey, Tina.
Hey Mike, yeah, we are just west of the intersection of State Highway 130 and Highway 71 West. I'm going to switch the camera view around so you can see what we're seeing right now. The sign telling drivers the airport is 1 mile away is right above us. We just passed under it, but legally only the drivers in the right 2 lanes can use that exit, and here's why. A driver who exits SH30 and gets on the Highway 71 toll road like we did is then technically stuck in this left lane due to a double white line you can see here on the right side of our vehicle. And when the airport exit comes up ahead on the right, as it is about to, traveling over this line is technically breaking the law. So I reached out to TxDOT and they say they are aware of the issue. They're working on a correction that would take the double solid line away and replace it with the solid and dash combination line. The dash would be on the toll lane side, the left lane, what we're driving in, to give drivers notice that they can exit the toll lane. The solid line would remain on the non-toll side to give drivers notice that they cannot enter the toll lane where we are right now. So for right now, if you're driving from SH 130 southbound to the airport, stay on the frontage road. We will update you when we know about a timeline for that lane repainting project. Live near ABIA, Tina Shively, KVUE News 90.
Big temperature spread this evening from 50s in the hill country to still low 70s here in Austin, but clear skies will allow for a nice cool down by tomorrow morning area wide. Now as cool as 56 degrees in Fredericksburg. It's 70 in Austin, 62 in Giddings. The wind beginning to lighten up. It was breezy earlier today. This is one of the components, along with clear skies and dry air, why everyone will be in the 40s and 50s by morning. Beautiful tomorrow, sunshine and low humidity, warmer and increasing humidity by the weekend. That increased moisture means rain chances returning next week. Much more on that coming up in your full forecast a few minutes away.
All right, I'll see you in a bit. Well, a lot of people only excited for this year's Austin City Limits Music Festival lineup after it was announced that Jay-Z will be performing. One girl says, I got 99 problems and the ACL Fest lineup is one of them. Another guy posted, I take this back. Jay-Z was added to the lineup. He originally said the first lineup made him mad. The other acts posted this morning, you know, the ones that everyone's dissing. Those include the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chance the Rapper, Ice Cube, and the Killers. They will all also be performing, whether people like it or not, I guess.
You know, I might head out there for a little while.
Not too bad.
Jay-Z set, why not?
Yeah.